This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening everyone and welcome to Southern Cross News. The political fallout is continuing tonight following allegations private details of a Tasmanian woman who was forced to travel to Melbourne for an abortion was shared with her employer. Angela Williamson was recently sacked by Cricket Australia following her online criticisms of Tasmania's abortion services. She says she has a right to speak out against the government as a citizen of the state, but the Premier says his government had nothing to do with her losing her job.
This petition was started by Hobart mother of three, Angela Williamson, last night. It's already signed by over 23,000 people. She's in the midst of a scandal which is making international headlines.
I want women to be respected and I want respectful language. And I want acknowledgement that this is not good enough.
Earlier this year, Angela had to fly to Melbourne to have an abortion. Despite it being legal in Tasmania, the state's only private clinic was shut down last year.
It was a really tough time and I felt so invisible, and I didn't feel that the decision makers actually understood what it meant or felt like or cost to go through that situation.
Yes, there has been a deficiency. We've sought to address it.
Angela then took her frustrations out online, criticising the state government over a lack of access to the surgical procedure. Then late last month, she lost her job with Cricket Australia, which receives government funding. They say it's because of the disparaging tone she used online.
Nothing to do with cricket. It was a personal account. It was based on my experiences, it was my political opinion.
This woman has lost her job because this government has taken offence to her advocacy for women being able to access terminations affordably, safely and locally.
She's now taking them to the Fair Work Commission.
I think it's really important to stand up for your rights, and that's what I was doing the whole time.
The Premier's refuting claims anyone from within his government disclosed Angela's private information to her employer, including that she travelled to Melbourne for the procedure.
No one in my government, me nor Minister Ferguson, have ever sought to influence the employment decisions of Cricket Tasmania or Cricket Australia.
Cricket Australia again wouldn't speak on camera today because the case is now before the courts. It does say it supports an individual's right to their opinion, but does not expect its employees to contravene its social media policy.
If she had tweeted about ambulance ramping, if she had tweeted about education funding, would the same outcome have played out?
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
The Liberal Party is yet to make any public concessions over what went wrong in their campaign for Braddon, but are privately asking hard questions. It comes as opposition leader Bill Shorten returned to Burnie today, celebrating the by-election win.
A return visit back to Braddon seemed a little too hard for Bill Shorten to resist.
Is that the member for Braddon?
Justine Kay and the opposition leader did a victory lap around Burnie as the wash-up begins from Saturday's by-election. The opposition leader clearly isn't too concerned it was preferences that helped Labor get across.
I think any Liberals who try and spin the defeat of their candidate in Braddon lives on another planet.
It doesn't end when the election's over, it starts again today.
For the Liberals, it's the start of soul-searching, looking at what went wrong.
We're obviously asking ourselves the hard questions internally to make sure that we do have the right approach going forward.
They've got to look at candidates, whether it's worth pre-selecting some new candidates, some fresh faces and particularly some women to contest the election next year. I guess also they'll be looking at their campaign strategy, whether having such a long campaign, whether it was beneficial.
Such a long election may have also sucked the momentum out of the Liberal campaign. For now, it's a good win for Labor, but voters could always close the door on Bill Shorten next time. Sean McComish, Southern Cross News.
Emergency service workers have opened up about the trauma they face on the front line at a Senate inquiry in Hobart. Unions say the number of first responders experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder is on the rise.
It's scenes like this that confront our emergency services.
If you think about the nature of the work that we do, it is stressful. We attend people who are critically injured. We attend critical situations, and I don't think that you can normalise a lot of that.
As a result, many leave work still reeling from what they've seen or experienced.
Unfortunately, we do have a higher rate of mental unwellness and PTSD than the standard community. It's unfortunately overrepresented, particularly in ambulance, but in all emergency services.
Well, unfortunately, given the nature of ambulance work, there is a potential for serious harm on individuals, workers, as a result of the experiences they have at work.
Today, sharing their stories at a committee Senate hearing in Hobart, addressing mental health issues among those on the front line.
Well, the Senate's inquiring into mental health across emergency services, which is an opportunity for ambulance services workers and other groups to have their say on what they think is being done in this area or what should be done.
I think it's important that we hear from people and that we end up with some national recommendations that are sensible, that can be implemented pretty quickly so that our first responders are looked after, so that they can look after us and our community.
The state government says it has a raft of programs to support these workers. That includes a $6 million wellness program, a mental health first aid training for staff, and compensation for post-traumatic stress disorder if their employment was a contributor. Inquiries will also be held across the country, with submissions still being accepted. Ruby Kamain, Southern Cross News.
The Launceston Historical Society says it has been left out of the loop as demolition of the former Riverview Hotel gets underway. The group had agreed to support the Jackson Motor Company's application to expand its car yard over the site, so long as an archaeologist was present in case something was found. While an archaeologist will be on site from Friday, the Historical Society says it had not been told when the demolition would begin or who the archaeologist would be. The site is of interest as a ship from the 1800s called the Canes is possibly buried underneath the area. A new bridge linking two sides of a multi-million-dollar redevelopment at the South Esk River is now open. The 120-metre-long bridge connects Seaport to the North Bank, now known as Riverbend Park. It's part of a $9 million facelift of the precinct, expected to be completed by the end of the year. A unique project transforming a 19th century Anglican church into a family home has taken out one of the state's top architecture awards. St Luke's in Perth took home the Tasmanian Institute of Architects People's Choice Award for 2018. The design of the project was spearheaded by Tasmania's S Group. Renovations took 2 years to complete. Tasmanian scientists will soon have more access than ever before to Antarctica, with plans revealed to build a new icebreaker. The state-of-the-art RSV Nuyina will be larger, stronger and offer increased endurance and operational flexibility than the current Aurora Australis.
A state-of-the-art icebreaker in the making. At 160 metres long and nearly twice the size of the Aurora Australis, the RSV Nuyina is set to offer scientists brand new access to the Southern Ocean and Antarctica.
We've never had the sheer sophistication and ability of a vessel like this to do marine science before.
But this icebreaker will certainly go some way to further cementing Tasmania's role as the Antarctic gateway for our nation.
Not only are we excited about working towards the ship arriving, but we're really excited about working with the science community to rebuild a marine science capability, to have the people lined up to do the really important work.
The state government saying this scientific work provides a valuable contribution to jobs and the local economy.
And it presents extraordinary opportunity for Tasmania's very rich Antarctic sector, which already employs around 1,200 people directly and indirectly in Tasmania and contributes about $180 million to our economy each and every year.
We hope to make a strong contribution not only to the AAD's efforts in terms of science and research, but also to the local economy and really become part of the local community as we base this new vessel in its home port of Hobart.
The RSV Nuyina will operate from Hobart in 2020. Ruby Kamain, Southern Cross News.
89 Tasmanians are now officially calling Australia home after receiving citizenship at a ceremony in Launceston. Many of the new citizens were in traditional dress when accepting their certificates at Albert Hall. While some had moved to Tasmania from Europe, Singapore and South Africa, others arrived after fleeing persecution.
So to come here, have the freedom, be able to have your own dreams and try and work to achieve those dreams is fantastic. So they look forward to it and they just love it. They just love the place and they love the people.
Launceston usually hosts 4 citizenship ceremonies each year. Tasmanians fond of fine wine will have more temptations than ever before at this year's Effervescence. The popular festival is expanding its program in Hobart while offering more luxury experiences.
As visitors keep pouring into Effervescence year on year, organisers say it's time to expand. At the high end, a new tour from Hobart to 3 top wineries, exclusive to just 20 guests and fully chauffeured in luxury Porsche and Mercedes-Benz vehicles. But those behind the event insist there's something for everyone.
It is designed to be really accessible, even if you just have a passing interest in sparkling or just enjoy drinking it.
More delicious degustations will also be on offer in the festival's 5th year, which brings together Tasmania's top sparkling wine producers. The formula is clearly working. Interstate visitors increased markedly in 2017.
This truly is the best place outside of Champagne to make sparkling wine.
One of the events returning on the back of last year's success is the Tamar Experience. It's 3 mouth-watering masterclasses where you can go behind the scenes and, of course, sample the region's finest fizz.
To kick the dirt and get out into the Tamar Valley, they get an opportunity to meet with the makers themselves.
And to learn a little more about how the best in the business make their magic.
The things that make a great sparkling are balance, elegance, delicacy, finesse, but you've also got to have a bit of power and a bit of structure in there, almost sort of dance on your tongue.
Tickets are now on sale for the festival in November. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. Australian shares have finished lower with solid gains for energy stocks and BHP failing to overcome weakness in industrial and consumer stocks. The ASX 200 index has dropped by 1.8 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 74.29 US cents and 108.79 New Zealand cents.
Welcome back. The excitement is building ahead of the Launceston Tornados Seabull prelim final with a sellout crowd expected to pack Elephant Stadium, and the side is giving themselves every chance after ending Bendigo's 20-game win streak. There's still 11 days till the biggest match Elephant Stadium has seen in years, and 85% of tickets have already been sold.
The whole club has worked hard and we're in a good position, and you know, we love playing at home and in front of that Elephant crowd, so we're very excited.
And after earning the home final by defeating a side many thought were unbeatable, confidence in the Torns camp is the highest it's been for a long time.
I think we're a very talented team, and we did prove on the weekend that, you know, we can take it to anyone in the league.
Mansfield missed the Bendigo match due to an injury niggle and is now in danger of missing the prelim due to a commitment with the Australian Opals.
I want to be here and play with my team, but you know, I also need to be at camp, and that obviously has to be the priority, you know, playing for Australia.
The point guard remains hopeful she'll be right to go, but with league MVP Lauren Nicholson leading the Torns charge all season, it won't be panic stations if she's not.
I think the girls have done an amazing job. You know, they showed on the weekend they can beat anyone. Either way, I'll be happy.
The side take on the winner of this weekend's qualifying final between Nunawading and Melbourne.
Good evening. 14 degrees, the state's top today in Hobart. Launceston, Burnie and Devonport all had a top of 13. 14 for Smithton and St Helens, 13 degrees for Low Head, Wynyard, Fingal, Bushy Park and Campania and Grove. 12 degrees at Cressy, Scottsdale and Strawn, with 11 for Sheffield and Ouse. Bright high-level cloud visible moving over the state with thunderstorms there to the west. Moving further out, that cloud continues over surrounding seas with speckled low cloud moving into the Bight, patchy mid-cloud covering the centre of Australia with the remainder mostly cloud-free. Tomorrow the cold front is visible to the east of the state. A weak high lies over southern Australia and extends a ridge near the state with a surface trough visible over central WA and northern Queensland. Southwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots tomorrow, reaching 25 to 35 about the north and the east, then easing later, tending northwesterly in the west with seas between 2 and 3 metres. There's a strong wind warning for eastern areas of Flinders Island, a strong wind warning for northern and eastern coastal waters and a small craft wind alert for Central Lakes. To the forecast, 13 in Hobart, Geeveston 12 degrees, showers throughout with 10 for Bothwell. Mostly sunny across the north, 14 in Launceston, 13 degrees for Devonport and Cressy, 13 for Burnie and Curry, showers easing, and 12 for Strawn, with 14 the top for St Helens and Swansea, 13 Orford with sunny conditions for most of the east coast. Looking on to Thursday, mostly cloudy conditions with tops of 15 after some chilly starts. Warmer weather for Friday with showers for most of the state, with similar conditions continuing for the weekend on Saturday. Looking at your major centres for tomorrow, 17 degrees in Perth and also Adelaide, 15 and cloudy for Melbourne, 21 in Sydney, sunny 24 for Brisbane, with mostly sunny conditions and temperatures in the high 20s for Cairns, Darwin and Broome. And it's a little bit cloudy in Hobart, 8 degrees, showers in Launceston 7 and a few clouds about in Devonport. Jo, I'm on the countdown to spring.
Oh, yes, I think we all are, aren't we? Thanks so much for that, Sam. Before we leave you tonight, a hunt for scallops turned into a rare catch for one lucky diver. Incredible footage shows an up-close look at two humpback whales frolicking in waters on the Freycinet Peninsula. And the gentle giants certainly weren't shy. Quite beautiful, aren't they? Well, that's all from the news team for now. Thanks so much for your company. We'll see you a little later with updates. Bye-bye.